And with that, I'm going to say a few words about me. So I'm Angela. I was born in south of Spain and raised and grown in different countries around Europe. Been living in Barcelona for almost 20 years. I'm 36 years old, and I'm currently UX manager at Adevinta. I joined the company a bit more than 5 years ago. And as many UXers today, I'm a passionate designer. So I started my career as a digital and web designer and gradually moved into the UX field, and then moved into the manager role like four years ago, more or less. So within my career, I continue like having the passion to design products. But as I get more into understanding design thinking and how this can be applied to anything, I enjoy not only designing products, but I enjoy designing teams, career paths, processes. So this is kind of, for me, the magic about UX and design that can be applied to anything. And personally, what I like most, spending time with my family. I have a 2-year-old son and expecting another baby boy in a couple of weeks. I really like to combine healthy with unhealthy life, so I enjoy a lot doing sports, but I have also a big passion for craft beers. So now you know a bit more about me, and now I'm going to tell you a bit more about UX and how do we do UX in Adevinta and in my team more precisely. So I try to create a presentation for anyone that could be interested in knowing more about UX. So during the next minutes, I'll try to give you some understanding of what is UX. So all you should know about UX from my perspective, or from what I know today. And you can interact in the chat, or just write it in a note, or just keep it in your head. But I would like you to start with what do you know now, like at this precise moment, about UX? Like, what do you understand by UX? So just write it down. It's a simple exercise. There's no good or bad question. It's just to see if your understanding of UX changes during this 25 minutes that we'll be together. So if you want to share it in the chat, you can share it. If not, just keep it to yourself. So Camila was sharing the expertise that people, the experience that people have with the product. Fantastic. I love that it's a global definition. We're not talking only about technology. Helping to design products from their perspective, so they're user-friendly. Awesome, Nikki. The whole experience of a user with the product before, during, and after. Customer and user journey. So yeah, as easy, yeah, make our users' lives easier. Of course, this is kind of our mantra. That's what we try. Challenge is the challenge that we face every day. So yeah, as I said, like UX can be understood from different points of view. I love that you mentioned product as a whole, because that's what we're gonna look into for the first slides. So if we read from the book, user experience is the experience of someone using a product, system, or service, for example, whether they find it enjoyable and easy to use. So it involves from the physical design to the customer service to how well products fit their users' ideal. So that is what the Cambridge Dictionary tells us about user experience, which I think it's quite to the point. But like in more simple words, no? If I'm not an expert, like what does this mean? And it's basically to make sure that our products do what people using them need them to do, and in the ways they can easily understand. So exactly what you were saying, no? Make our users' life easier, create intuitive experiences, make things work for our users. So we want our users to feel empowered and even delighted by our products. So not confused or frustrated by them. And like we have plenty of bad user experience products, like in our daily lives. Like we interact with multiple hardware and software and technologies that makes us really feel frustrated. So I'm not gonna point out any of those, but like just trying to set up a like the remote control of a TV, a DVD, things like that that are so easy, or some coffee machines that you just don't know where to push some elevators. Like there are things that just makes us like feel really frustrated. So that is exactly what we try to avoid. And if you take that into technology, that's our daily work. So I'm not going to tell you more about user centricity. I'm going to try to play a video. Again, if the connection is bad, we just stop it and you can look it later in your own computers. But I think this video is really good to make us understand what bad design is and how we can solve it.
There's this door on the 10th floor of the Vox Media office that I hate so much. God damn it. You ever get this door wrong?
Pretty regularly.
Have you seen people misuse it?
All the time, every day. Constantly. I hate this door.
Me too, Kelsey. But here's the thing. As soon as you start looking for confusing doors, they are everywhere.
It's push.
Why? I feel like Roman Mars would know about this.
This is 99% invisible. And those doors you hate are called Norman doors.
What's a Norman door?
Don Norman wrote the essential book about design. He is the Norman of the Norman door.
All right, and where is this guy?
You must go to San Diego.
Okay.
Hi, Joe. Hey, I'm Don Norman. Gee, you know, it's hard to describe what I am.
Well, he's been a professor of psychology, professor of cognitive science, professor of computer science, a vice president of advanced technology at Apple. But for our purposes.
I was spending a year in England. I got so frustrated with my inability to use the light switches and the water taps and the doors even, that I wrote this book.
If I continually get a door wrong, is it my fault?
No. In fact, if you continually get it wrong, it's a good, and if other people continually get it wrong, good sign that it's a really bad door.
A Norman door is one where the design tells you to do the opposite of what you're actually supposed to do, or gives the wrong signal and needs a sign to correct it.
Why does it need an instruction manual? That is, why do you have to have a sign that says push or pull? Why not make it obvious?
It can be obvious if it's designed right.
There are a couple of really simple, basic principles of design, and one of them I'll call discoverability. When I look at something, I should be able to discover what operations I can do.
The principle applies to a whole lot more than doors.
And it's amazing with many of our computer systems today. You look at it, there's no way of knowing what's possible. Should I tap it once, or twice, or even triple tap? So discoverability, when it's not there, well, you don't know how to use something.
Another is feedback.
And so many times there's no feedback. You have no idea what happened or why it happened.
And these principles form the basis of how designers and engineers work today, commonly known as user or human-centered design.
I decided at one point the word user was a bit degrading. Why not call people people? And it's amazingly simple and amazingly seldom practiced. We call it iterative because it goes around in a circle. We go out and we observe what is happening today. We observe people doing the task. And from that, we say, oh, we have some ideas. Here's what we should perhaps propose to do.
Then you prototype your solution and test it.
Quite often, these are wrong at first. But each time we go around the circle, we do a better job of making the device until the point we're actually making something that really works.
And this process has spread all over the world.
And it turns out it's improving lives.
From better everyday things like the ones that Don wrote about,
to using the same process to solve huge problems in public health in developing countries.
Water,
sanitation,
farming,
lots more. So what'd be a better human-centered door?
An ideal door is one that as I walk up to it and walk through it, I'm not even aware that I had opened the door and shut it. So if you had a door which had a flat plate, what could you do? Nothing. The only thing you can do is push. So see, you wouldn't need a sign. A flat plate, you push.
This kind of push bar with the piece sticking out on one side works well too. So you can see what side you're supposed to push on.
The vertical bars could go either way. A simple little hand thing, though, sort of indicates pull.
But we still have terrible, terrible doors in the world. So many of them.
There are lots of things in life that are fairly standardized, and therefore, whether I buy this house or not is not a function of whether it has good doors in it. And so, except for safety reasons, doors tend not to be improved.
But the tyranny of bad doors must end.
I think that it's a really shitty design. In fact, they put a pull handle when it's a push. And it should be a flat panel right here. And not a pull handle. That's how I feel about this store. It's very misleading. I agree.
You're right, Becky. You're goddamn right. And if we all thought like you, well, we might just design a better world together.
It won't open because it's a security door. What the f are you two doing?
Hey, so as you can see, since I started making this video, they've since changed the door.
Yeah, so thanks. I hope you liked the video. So I cannot find a better way of explaining like what is a human-centered design. So that is why I like to share the video. And we saw like some concepts like discoverability, feedback, observations, and like what I really like is that it's super clear. No, it shows like the example with a pepper. No, that you just hear it crunch and you know that something's happening. So those things are the things that we need to bring into our products, our solutions, on the products that we put on our users' hands through technology. So what is UX today? And I don't know what's happening with the. Let me click the present. Okay. Sorry for that. So what is UX today? So to be honest, I started working on the UX field like maybe 7 years ago, and it has been a tough battle. So many of our colleagues and in the industry, they understand UX as UI or design, and we had to fight that battle until we reach a point in where today we drive product development forward. We are in the center of company strategies. We tell our business what to focus next, what to prioritize, and everything from the user perspective. No, so today UX and UXers work embedded in product teams. So they are the ones that deliver. They are the ones that drive product development forward, and they are the ones that understand how those products and how those solutions are performing from a user perspective. So we in the video we saw the definition of a human-centered design, and it's a very complex role. So when we talk about UX, there are many different roles that the UX or that the UX discipline includes. We can go from domain experts, UX designers, facilitators, strategists, user research, and then if we like zoom in like UX designer, we find other disciplines like UI, like interaction designer, animation, graphic designers. So there's a lot that we can do. We're gonna see like more in details what are the different phases of the process. But with this, I just wanna illustrate the complexity of the discipline. And also like if now we're looking at the UX role, if you put aside like any of the other roles in a cross-functional team, like product, like insight, so the limits and the boundaries of the roles are like not defined, which is a really good thing, that even the UX role can expand to other areas of the product development process. As we saw, and as I was saying, no, UX is not interface design only. So we can see in the left side, like the things that a UX is expected to do, and in the right side, the things that we are seeing for, no, like end of the day, we kind of deliver an interface layout and a design. But to reach that point, we have a bunch of elements that we need to complete, no? To reach that point that we put a UI in front of our users, like there are different layers that we really need to work and we really need to nail to get that last layer of UI right. And as we grow, like it's like some of you are familiar with the double diamond or other diagrams or the iteration model that explains the process of design, but it's the same. Like we start exploring an abstract world of user problems, and we need to narrow and get more concrete into the final solution that we will put in our user's hand, and that they solve their real user needs, no? So going from understanding big domains or big problem spaces into getting to a concrete solution. So with this, you can understand a bit some of the challenges that we face. This also illustrates a bit what I was saying, no? Like the boundaries between UX and product are not clear. So that is also a very sexy part of the UX role, no? You can do kind of the minimum required to deliver a user interface, or you can do as much as you can to enrich and to improve the whole product development process. So you can see like there are some specific tasks that are accountability or responsibility of the different disciplines, but in the middle, we get together to understand the problem spaces, so do user research, ideate solutions, understand what is the user interaction with our products, identify which those personas are, so what is our target audience and what do they come, why do they come to our products, what do they want to do, no? So it's as we have a calculator presenting about product, so it's a really tight relationship, the one that we built with product managers and product colleagues in the cross-functional team. And now let's try a real case. So now I want to give you a bit more details of what do we do and illustrate a bit what does our day look like in Adevinta and in Trust and Transactions. So in my team is called Trust and Transactions, and we are part of the central team, so the central tribes in Adevinta. There are 4 tribes, and Trust and Transactions takes care, or like the mission of Trust and Transaction is to enable our marketplaces. So you know that we have, I'm gonna say a number, but 16 plus marketplaces around different countries. So we enable them to deliver the best environment for our users to transact by not only developing solutions, but also expertise and knowledge on the domain of trust and transactions. Transaction is the experience that a user goes through when trying to buy or sell an item in our marketplaces, and that cannot happen without trust. So trust in the marketplace, trust in the user they're gonna interact with, and trust with the content that is shown in our marketplace. So basically, having confidence that nothing really wrong is gonna happen when they use our products. So what do we do in Trust and Transactions? So it doesn't matter who the end user is, because like sometimes marketplaces are end users, like in internal internal employees, like moderators, are the ones that use our products, or the end product, or the marketplaces itself, because we build a relationship and we build products for our processes. It doesn't matter who the end user is, but we are always trying to solve a problem for them. And in the right side, you have a list of some examples of the things that we do within our tribe. So starting from collecting user insights and formulating user problems, validating this hypothesis, doing design experiments, collecting user data, designs, and then designing. Then we move into the design phase to build those solutions. We are facilitators. What does this mean? And this is something that is sometimes hidden. So we are the ones that create and design those workshops that bring together teams to ideate solutions, to brainstorm, and to try to bring new ideas, inspirations to the strategy process of the products. So this is my team. Well, this was my team. We are two more people today, but we didn't manage to get all together in the office. I could not update the picture. So today we are 3 UX leads, which are the ones that you can see in the picture, an additional 1 research designer that works across the different products, and we have a new product designer that supports one of our products. I think I haven't said it. We have 3 products. One is the messaging, a messaging solution, so a chat for users to communicate and complete a transaction. We have Trust, that is responsible to showing or bringing transparency to the marketplace when it comes to the user. So reviews, rating, and other trust signals. And then we have a fraud detection platform. These are the 3 products we work for. And what you can see in this slide is the process, or the UX process, the ideal UX process in different phases. In green, you see the things that we do, and in orangish, you see the things that we don't do, but that we consider this is part of the ideal UX process. So we have an understand phase and a research phase, which is very similar. So it's where we get the user problems that we're going to solve next. We get them through different sources. So we do benchmark, we talk to users, we collect user problems from our different marketplaces. So there are many different processes that we can follow. Then once we understand what is the scope, so what is it that we are going to build a solution for, we have the discovery phase, in which we turn these insights into potential opportunities. So as you can see here, like is when it comes to the ideation and brainstorming part into this in the sketch phase. And then once we have our different opportunities validated, we move into design. That is what we are all most familiar with when we talk about UX and design. So designing interfaces, prototypes, and testing them with users. Then we move into the implementation. So it's working with the development team on delivering the assets that they need and building them together. And then we have the evaluation. So how are our solutions performing with our users? And then others, which is also like super important, that is giving visibility to the learnings, sharing both learnings and so successful and unsuccessful cases, experiments, and also distributing the products and the learnings that we get from the different projects. And how does this look like? So the first screen, and this one that I'm sharing, is the one that excites me more, because it's the one that shows that today UX is in another level. So like after understanding, learning, and researching a lot about our users, our problems, we're in a good position to create strategic tools that can help our company and our teams work with a more aligned vision of company strategy and stronger foundations. So what you can see here in the left side is what we call the transactions playbook. And it's a collection of tools. For example, a user journey is one of our first tools that we have delivered. It's a collection of tools that will help the company move and advance towards transactions transformation. So we try to unify concepts, learnings, so that they don't need to create themselves, and they can focus on other things. No? So it's the basics to get the strategy right from the user perspective. And in the left side, it's also a sneak peek of the trust strategy. No? So how we want the concept trust to be understood by the company. No? Like a very simple sentence like, is the confident that nothing will go wrong, and the confident that if things go wrong, it can be made right. And it looks like two very simple questions, but it took us almost like 1 year to reach that conclusion. Like, it's as simple as that, no? And what you can see in the bottom is another framework to be able to measure the trust levels that our different marketplaces have, no? So defining what are the trust categories and what are the different levels for our marketplaces to understand that they are reaching a good level of trust. So being able to produce these tools is what really makes my day. It's like, yeah, we deliver products, but we move things forward, and we are part of that change. Then the next things that I've prepared is more like what we all know. Like, these are like some examples of benchmark and a competitive analysis. Like, we have like very strong competition, so we are always trying to design market trends reports and always keeping an eye on our competitors so that we don't miss out on what they are doing. This is how we do nowadays ideation sessions and discovery processes. We have Miro. I'm not going to promote the tool, but that saved our lives when the COVID took over them. So here you can see some examples of the opportunity tree exercise or the opportunity evaluation framework. This is another thing that we are really proud of, is the ability that we have now to create trainings and courses for our company, like part of the Adevinta Academy. So we have, like my colleagues Simone, Julia, and Victor from Adevinta Spain, together with other colleagues, have designed this training on product discovery, which is amazing. So like it's something that we didn't dream about when we started working on UX, being able to deliver these courses to everyone in the company. Here you can see some wireframings and how we built some materials to handle over the assets to our developers. And these are the solutions that we bring to our users. So you can see a screenshot. This, like on the top, is the user moderation, like the fraud moderation tool, which is an internal tool. In the right side, you have an image of the messaging solution, and in the bottom part, we have some images about the trust signals and the user profile card that we integrate in our marketplaces. And this is also how we do user tests today. Also remote, we have expanded our tools, but easy as sharing a screen with our users and having a conversation through Google Meet or Lookback. That is another tool that helps us get feedback from our users. And that's it. Now we have some time for questions. If you have any doubt, any comment, anything that you want to share with me or you want me to clarify.
Hi, Angela. So I actually have a question about UX. So I'm fairly new to the UX design world. So what do you think is the most important focus for someone wanting to break into the UX world?
Good question. So what I haven't explained is that you can enter the UX role from many different sides and from so many different backgrounds. So you don't need to be a designer to be a UXer. So in my team, like we have people that were front enders, psychologists, journalists. So with that, what I wanna say is that you can enter from very different careers, interests, and different career backgrounds. So you can also pick the area that you like the most, no? But in our team, like we are a small team, so a team of 6 people is a small team. So we mostly look for T-shaped designers. So that means that you are able to deliver on the whole process. So from the beginning to the end. And honestly, that's what excites people the most. So being able to take those ideas to the end. To me, I'm in love of UX strategy. So that's for me like the what interests me the most. But I think that any of the UX areas are super interesting. You can also specialize in small things. If you are really passionate about animation or interaction, like there's room for that. Like on other really hot topics and that we can see in the industry is the design design system. So that's a really that's something that resonates and that you can hear from every company. Like they have like a strong focus on building design systems. Those are like design libraries that makes delivery processes faster. We don't have a need to do that because like the UI is given by the marketplaces. So we don't have a need to produce like really complex design systems, but who knows?
Great, that was an amazing answer to the question. It's just very interesting. So if anyone here is also interested in entering that world, then that would be a great advice as well. Thank you.
No worries. Thanks for the question.
I think actually we have another question in the chat. A couple of them actually. So first of all, so what's your favorite part of being a UXer?
For me, I would say also thinking where I come from, like from web design or digital design, like 10 years ago, that we didn't take the user into account. Like having now someone that you can ask and get like real input, like the user tell us what they need, the user tell us what is working and what not. And that makes our lives like much easier. So we can rely on their needs and their opinion to build products that are going to be successful, no? So being the contact point between the user and so connecting business with user, that's really amazing. And as I said before, like UX moving into strategy, that is what we are all enjoying a lot. So being able to work with our product colleagues and business colleagues on defining what is going to come next. So yeah, like being the intermediate and the voice of the user. I know it sounds like a kind of a topic or a very or a very common answer, but it is what it is.
Totally. Thank you. And another one, you show us some tasks shared with PMs. How do you distribute those tasks in order to not to overlap?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And there are many different methodologies, and most of you will know them. Like we have processes and tools like the RASI metrics, And we have some other tools that help us define those responsibilities. But at the end of the day, is a matter of connection between people. So it depends on the maturity of the product manager. It depends on the maturity of the UX designer in that team, and also in the interests of them. So we have product managers that really like to do discovery, and they will facilitate an ideation session. While in other cases, we have product managers that haven't done that, so they will participate and maybe they get mentoring from the designer. So normally, is the challenge is more on building on building that understanding, but I think it changes from team to team. So there are not clear boundaries. What we used to say is that product managers are responsible of the prioritization. Like, that's clear. That's something that, at least in our team, is clear to us. And UX, of course, is responsible of the design and the delivery of the solutions. Anything in between, I think that can be a shared responsibility. That also gives the capacity and the opportunity for teams that may not have a UX allocated to be able to solve many of those areas with the support of external UX resources. No? We have a team that don't have a UX lead, but the PM is more than capable to define what do they want to research next, and then talk directly with the researcher and brief them, like, we would like to know more about this user problem, and we would like to ideate around these potential opportunities. So this is why it's so important for us to distribute the knowledge through the Adevinta Academy, no? To build this product discovery training, so that it's not something that only UXers own. So anyone in the company should know on how to get those insights from the users.
Right, thank you very much. Really useful answers. And actually, while you were talking, the things that I was hearing were like knowledge communication, information, and social interaction. So really interesting.
Thank you.